Welcome back to the railroad, everyone.
As we start to add the RC and batteries to these engines, we realize that they are in need of some maintenance. So here we go.
So, this is going to be a series of videos. I try to keep my videos down to about 10 minutes at a time, 10 to 15 minutes, which is more than enough to try and keep somebody entertained. But these are USA trains. I'm doing these for a friend, Ken Neslin. He has quite a few passenger cars. I think he has 9 of the passenger cars for the Great Northern. These are all Great Northern engines. There's 2 A's, 2 B's, and a C. So he's going to have 2 consists. One will be an ABC. The other will be an AB. The AB will most likely be used just for freight lines. The ABC will be used on all the passenger sets. So the electronics in most of these, he got these secondhand, have all been either torn out or badly destroyed. So I'm going to be removing what I have to. We're going to turn these into Revolution Train Engineer with diesel sounds. I know it's not the best sound, but it's not bad. So if I haven't showed you already, we're going to be replacing most of the axles in the trucks on these cars because they are in rough shape on some of them. Now, to remove this motor block, it's helpful to have a small screwdriver just to pry that a little bit out. You want to be careful. These do break. They get sloppy in there. And that's just a decorative piece to help hold the, or to help make it hide the screws. But you remove your 3 screws. There's 2 up top. And remember to put your screws in a small container so you don't lose them. Screw number 2. And when you take out screw number 3, this is almost going to fall apart on you. The reason being, the side casing is what holds the truck in place, the motor block in place. So remove that. Now, if you're still track powered, this will be connected to a wire here. Ours is not. And then once you remove that, your motor block will come right out of this. It'll lift out. All right, once you get your motor block out of the engine, it'll look like this. This is the top. You'll have 6 screws holding this top section on. Here's your bottom. You'll have another 6 screws holding the bottom section on. I advise only taking off one side or the other at a time. If you take both off, everything's going to fall apart on you. So there's a few things that are helpful hints. First off, as in any motor or anything that's got to be tightened down evenly, you want to take your screws apart in a systematic order. So I go across, 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 and back. And that way, I loosen them all. And you want to use whichever screwdriver. Now I have actually a better one here that will remove these fairly quickly and easily. You always want a bin to put your screws in. You don't want to leave them unattended on a workbench. They will get lost. They will get thrown on the floor. Okay, now that that's off, basically very lightly pull up on this and you'll get that off. Now you're going to have some grease in here. That's from Oversplash when they initially did these. These are actually brand new trucks. However, they were locked up. They would not run because they'd sat for so long. So what you want to do is use a little lightweight oil. You'll notice the 2 outside leads are the ones that carry power directly to the motor. The 2 inside leads, if you follow them down and through, they go to the shoes to pick up power from the track, and they'll also pick up power from any wheel that is a bare wheel. These wheels are actually rubber sleeved. So I just hook these to the outside 2 wires and press down on the motor because the motor will fall right out at this point. Plug my unit into a power strip. And it's a pretty nice sound. All right. Now, you can hear that's fairly nice. But what you want is right in here where the gear shaft runs into the motor, you want to have just a little bit of light oil right on that bearing surface. And the same over on this end. Just a little bit of oil. You don't need a lot. You didn't hear a change in sound on this one because it's in pretty good shape. Okay. The other thing you want to make sure you have good grease on your drive gears. So I like to put a little extra grease right on the top of the drive gears, right over where the the main axles are, and then run it a little just to move that around. Okay, that sounds pretty good. Now we put this unit back together again. And we put all these screws in. Okay, now you'll notice that I didn't take those all the way down, I just brought them in close. So we start at any corner and take it down snug, go across, take that one down just snug, take this one down snug, come back here, snug, snug, snug. You do not want to over tighten these because they are into just plastic. Okay, there we go. That's always good after you put it back together. First off, to look and make sure the seam is tight all the way around. And then test it out. And one thing you don't want to do is come to a complete stop real quickly. That's how you break gears. Now, this will be a little bit more difficult. What I like to do, if I'm not going to take the axles loose, is I'll put rubber bands around each of the axles to hold them in place. I'll show you why in a minute. But I'll have a rubber band down around the top. And there, okay. So we have rubber bands holding across the top of each of those. Okay, then we do the same thing. There are 6 screws. Okay, now the top will come off. However, remember the 2 inside leads here. You just lift that gently off. You'll notice there's grease on here too. Those 2 inside leads come up to these 2 wires, the black and the red wires. And that's what carries power from your shoes down to those leads inside the engine to its electronics. And then powering the electronics, it comes back to the outside tube to power the motor. Now, if you want to remove these, you can. These just lift right out. They have a spring on them, so and that spring will come loose, so be careful with those. If you want to disconnect all of your track pickups, you can take the screw up a little bit, and there's a wire that goes from that axle all the way down here. That wire is just a loose wire. You can pull that out, and you do not have to have that in there if you do not want track power. Now, I'm leaving these in because we may use this for a track-powered engine. Now, you'll notice in here that inside of the wheel, there is a square-looking bearing surface. That is right here. This bearing spins on the axle, and that's what gives you a good bearing surface. When you are lubricating this, you want to make sure that you get light oil on that bearing surface, and this axle moves around a little bit. So you want to lubricate all those and move them around. Make sure it's lubed well. Now, I know I already have a lot of grease on my bearing surface, or on my gears, so I don't need to put it there. Okay, now the reason I put rubber bands on here, and I will take off the rubber bands on this side and show you, is when you pull that out, these springs, these power pickups, rub on the inside bearing, or on the inside of the axle here, to pick up power from either one side or the other. This axle is not a solid steel axle all the way through. It has this plastic insert. The wires touch here on the axle and transmit power from either side of the rails back to the electronics inside the engine. Now, these things spin, and you can see they're a square set. So they fit down into this. Each of these sides has a groove that fits into, that this bearing surface fits into. So you have to make sure that axle goes in square. And if it doesn't, if it sits up like this, it won't lock in. So you rotate this around until it sets down in there square. With them both setting square, then you would put back on your cover. However, it's harder than heck to do unless these things are anchored in. So when you put a rubber band around them, they stay anchored in nicely. With that lubed, and you've inspected these, they look good, then you can put this back on and secure your bolts. All right, now what I want to show you is I took this axle off of one of my other engines, once you clean up the sleeves a little bit, you can look around on these sleeves and see that they look pretty good for the most part. But then when you get to a certain part, you see that crack right there? The other side is solid. That's what happens. It comes apart so easily, and it doesn't take much at all to turn that. So what happens is you lose grip on one side. The engine may be trying to turn, but it's only going to turn with one side of the axle, and sometimes not even one side. Both sides will be broken loose, and it'll just turn easily in the gears, and it'll sound like the motor's running, but it won't turn the axles. So they're still nice axles, but you need a new gear replacement to fix them. Now, when you talk about a gear replacement, you might be able to get a program and print one yourself, but if you go to the USA Train site, they have new replacement axles, and you can get them either with the rubber tires or without, and they're $20 for a set of 2 at this time. That's not a bad price. So I've just been replacing the wheel sets with new ones, but that's what will happen. Then to put this all back together, just make sure your motor block axles are into that side. Oh, and these will be greasy, by the way, because you want to make sure these are lubed up well before you put them on. And then this just sits in here, and that's where our 2 screws and the 3rd screw go. So this slips down, put the axles into the slots here. And then, I use a little assistance that will keep the screws attached to this a little better. So to keep that screw in, hold this up in place, reattach it, and then reattach your decorative piece over the leaf springs. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. Let's go run some trains.
Hey Norm, you're going backwards.
Well, I hope you all enjoyed that. If you did, give us a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Be safe, stay healthy. We'll see you down the rails, and God bless.